Consideration of memorials. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Joint Memorial 002?
Senate Joint Memorial 2 by Senator Sonnenberg and Representative Pelton, memorializing former Colorado Senator Maynard Yost.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Joint Memorial 2 and ask that it be read at length.
Mr. Carpenter, will you please read the memorial at length?
Senate Joint Memorial 2 by Senator Sonnenberg and Representative Pelton, memorializing former Colorado Senator Maynard Yost. Whereas former Senator Maynard Yost departed this life on December 1st, 2019 at the age of 83. And whereas Senator Yost was born on October 31st, 1936 in Haxton, Colorado. And whereas Senator Yost spent his formative years on a farm north of Daly, Colorado before his family moved into Haxton when he was in the 5th grade. And whereas in high school, Senator Yost was active in football, basketball, track, and band. And whereas in 1954, Senator Yost joined the United States Navy and soon after earned his GED. And whereas, as a member of the Navy, Senator Yost played the drums in the Recruit Navy Drum and Bugle Corps and continued his Navy education at Communication Electrician School. And whereas, after Communication Electrician School, Senator Yost volunteered for submarine service and was transferred to New London, Connecticut for submarine school, followed by submarine electrical school. And whereas, upon graduation, Senator Yost reported for duty on the submarine USS Basugo, based out of San Diego, California, serving on board that submarine until his release from active duty in October 1957. And whereas, on November 2nd, 1957, Senator Yost married Carol Jacqueline Jackie Leonard. And whereas, Senator Yost and his wife Jackie had 4 children, sons Dennis and Richard, Rick, and daughters Shelley and Stacy. And whereas, after returning to Colorado, Senator Yost went into business with his father trucking cattle, and eventually his brother-in-law Jack and son Rick joined the family business. And whereas, Senator Yost also served as mayor of Crook, Colorado, and commander of the VFW Post 4191 of Crook, and was an active member of the Crook Volunteer Fire Department. And whereas, in 1977, Senator Yost was elected to the Colorado House of Representatives, where he served 1 2-year term and was a member of the Agriculture Committee and vice chair of the Transportation Committee. And whereas, in 1979, Senator Yost was elected to the Colorado Senate and served 1 4-year term, chairing the Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy Committee, serving as vice chair of the Transportation Committee, and serving as a member of the Business Affairs and Labor Committee. And whereas, Senator Yost served as president and chairman of the board of directors of the Colorado Motor Carriers Association, was a life member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 4191, the American Legion Post 20, the BPOE 1336, and the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated, and was an associate member of the Submarine Veterans of World War II. And whereas, after retirement, Senator Yost spent his winters in Mesquite, Nevada, where he enjoyed his favorite sport, golf. And whereas, Senator Yost was preceded in death by his father Harold in 1991, his mother Helen in 2010, his wife of 41 years, Jackie, in 1998, and his daughter Shelley in 2015. And whereas on September 22, 2006, Senator Yost married Teresa Ann Cheney Blackburn, calling her the love of his life. And whereas Senator Yost is survived by Teresa and by 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 72nd General Assembly of the State of Colorado, and the House of Representatives, concurring herein, that in the death of Maynard Yost, the people of the state of Colorado have lost a devoted public servant and an outstanding citizen, and that we, the members of the 72nd General Assembly, pay tribute to Maynard Yost for his years of dedicated public service, and do hereby extend our deep and heartfelt sympathy to the members of his family. Be it further resolved that a copy of this joint memorial be sent to Senator Yost's wife, Teresa Ann Yost of Mesquite, Nevada, Senator Yost's surviving children, Dennis Yost and his wife, Karen of Torrington, Wyoming, Rick Yost and his wife, Corey of Sterling, Colorado, and Stacy Yost Zink and her husband AJ of Isle of Colorado. Senator Yost's grandchildren, Michael Yost, son of Dennis and Karen Yost, Casey Yost and his wife Jenna and Jenny Yost Corta and her husband Paul, children of Rick and Corey Yost, and Jeremiah Zink, Tim Zink, and Abby Zink, children of Stacy and AJ Zink, and Senator Yost's great-grandchildren, Joey Corta, Presley Corta, Mia Corta, Xander Yost, and Zachary Yost.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, thank you. Please be seated. You know, I actually have looked forward to this for a number of days, actually weeks. Started thinking about it when I was at Maynard's funeral back in December. Because Maynard was truly a country boy, raised with rural values that just wanted to serve others. As you heard in the memorial, you heard about all of the things that he helped with, whether he served as the mayor of Crook, and for those of you that don't know where Crook is, it's the large metropolitan area between Proctor and Red Lion Road. But you do that for no money, and you battle with some of the things that small communities battle with. Now, as I looked at the list and the picture, and I took the picture back to the family, and the family remembered a number of those people that he served with. Quite frankly, a vast majority of them are gone at this point. Ray Powers, many of you remember Ray Powers for years, was a senator here. There are, however, some that are still around, and many of you may remember Steve Durham. Steve Durham and Maynard Yost, Cliff Dodge, and Tom Tancredo, I'm not sure what their nicknames were, but that was a foursome that continued to get together on a regular basis, and I don't know if they planned on creating havoc or being ornery, or if it just came natural. I remember Rick, one of his sons who now takes the trucking company, who runs the trucking company, when they would come to town, Rick would give me a heads up. I'd sneak in just to say hello to those folks. And it was actually cool to see them, even just a couple, 3 years ago, still continue that relationship. What I will tell you about Maynard that everybody needs to remember is he was truly a public servant. A servant who wanted to make sure his neighbors were taken care of, his family was taken care of, and eventually those that he represented in the Senate were taken care of. There were some great pictures, and I won't go through many of the stories that they would share, other than to say that I've known the Yost family for a number of years. And before Dennis has a chance to wrap me out, I actually sang at his wedding. And my son has also worked for Rick hauling cattle. So we are a close-knit family and community, and it's actually an honor to be here to speak about a good friend and public servant, Maynard, and have his family here as part of this celebration. Members, I'm sure there's probably not going to be a number of you that have ever met Maynard before. And we contacted some of the folks that he served with, and they're either too old to move around or not in the country here somewhere close. And so I'll give an opportunity for others to speak, but let me close by saying Maynard will truly be missed. He was an icon. He knew how to work across the aisle when he didn't have to to solve problems for the entire state, to work on those transportation issues that we are still working on today. But back then, even when he was in the majority, reached across the aisle to figure out how we make this work for everybody in Colorado. For that, I am honored to be here to present his memorial and ask for your support as we move forward in paying tribute to a great member of this body. Mr. President, I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion? The motion is the adoption of Senate Joint Memorial 002. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused, Senator Sonnenberg, would you like to request a roll call vote? Senator Sonnenberg.
That would be absolutely wonderful. Madam President, I do request a roll call vote.
Thank you. Mr. Carpenter, please do a roll call vote.
Senators Bridges. Bridges, aye. Cook. Cook, aye. Quorum. Quorum, aye. Crowder. Crowder, aye. Danielson. Danielson, aye. Donovan. Donovan, aye. Finberg. Finberg, aye. Fields. Fields, aye. Foot. Foot, aye. Gardner. Gardner, aye. Janal. Janal, aye. Gonzalez. Gonzalez, aye. Hanson. Hanson, aye. Hill. Hill, aye. Heisey. Heisey, aye. Holbert. Holbert, aye. Lee. Lee, aye. Lundeen. Lundeen, aye. Marble. Marble, aye. Moreno. Moreno, aye. Pedersen, excused. Priola. Priola, aye. Rankin. Rankin, aye. Rodriguez. Rodriguez, aye. Scott. Scott, aye. Smallwood. Smallwood, aye. Sonnenberg. Sonnenberg, aye. Story. Story, aye. Tate. Tate, aye. Williams. Williams, aye. Winter. Winter, aye. Woodward. Woodward, aye. Zinzinger. Zinzinger, aye. President Garcia. President Garcia, aye. Madam President.
Aye.
Madam President, aye.
With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 1 excused, Senate Memorial 002 is passed. Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask that the morning roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Thank you. And is there any objection? Seeing none, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors. Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I would ask for a moment of personal privilege to introduce a couple of the Yost family.
Is granted.
Thank you, members. I'm not going to introduce them all, but I do want to introduce you to the children. So first, Dennis. I'll have Dennis stand up. He lives in Wyoming now. Rick. Rick runs a trucking company in Sterling, and Stacy. Those are the 3 children. Now, would all of the spouses and children and grandchildren all stand up as well? Members, help me say thank you to the Yost family, to donating, I say, allowing their father and grandfather to serve in the Senate away from home while they took care of things, and allowing us to pay tribute to them today. Help us say thank you. And also, Madam President, I don't know if I talked a little bit about the honoring us. Senator Yost's last chair was back there where Heisey sits, so I don't know if it's something about that back row, but we're going to blame Senator Yost for me being ornery and Heisey being ornery from being back in that corner. With that, Madam President, thank you. Members, thank you.
In honor of one of our former colleagues, we would request that the chimes be played, be rung. We will have a brief recess to take time to greet the family of Senator Yost, and thank you so much for being with us today. Brief recess.